It's the naughty list. As you can tell by the fact that I'm sitting beside the one and only Grinch.
That's me.
That's you. Listen, it's been well known that Rachel loves the Grinch. There's a Grinch Christmas tree right in front of us. I'm not sure if that can be seen on camera. But there is a Merry Grinchmas thing right over here.
Look at this tree. There is also a book next to Mike that is... There's a wooden figurine of the Grinch off camera.
I'm worried that this is now never going to stop because it's just kept going. Do I press it to stop? Oh, okay. I would not have thought of that, and it would have just gone forever. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, it's the naughty list. We did the nice list last week, which was a lot of fun. However, frankly, Rachel, as much as I love being positive, this is my favorite one.
Is it because I dress up like the Grinch?
It's because you dress up like the Grinch, and it's like therapy. I get to talk about all the people who have wronged me this year. But as always, chivalry is not dead. We will go ladies first. Why don't you kick us off? Who is the first inductee on your naughty list?
Okay, so naughty list today. The dude who drunk drove on a Zamboni.
I thought you were going to put him on your nice list.
So, drunk driving, as I'm sure we'll probably get into, is bad.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Was the video objectively funny?
Yes.
Yes.
Extremely so, frankly.
The dude ripping around doing designs on a Zamboni while drunk. Obviously, nobody got hurt. Mm-hmm. And, you're not driving on a street.
And there is also only so much damage you can do with a Zamboni on ice. Let's be real. The Zamboni does not move very fast.
Now, I need to know what was happening for him to be drunk and operating a Zamboni. Either way, he is on the naughty list. Mm-hmm. Thank you for providing me entertainment, because that video was great. But, I can't have this. You can't be... You're not supposed to be drunk on a bicycle. I got mowed down by a dude on an electric scooter a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, are you drunk? Why are you doing this?
Yeah, you're not supposed to be drunk on a bike or on a boat. That we've seen other NHL players get BUIs,
Boating under the influence.
Stuff like that. But yes.
You're not supposed to be doing that. So, buddy driving a Zamboni while drunk is on the naughty list.
Why don't we just cover drunk driving right now?
I feel okay, so should we? This guy is...
And let's not spend too much time on him, I think, because he doesn't deserve it. But Rachel, take it away.
Sean Higgins, the guy who's been charged, and as of the recording of this podcast, has been indicted by a grand jury for vehicular homicide in the deaths of Johnny and Matthew Gaudreau. He faces rightfully up to 20 years in prison. Quite frankly, that is not enough. I don't understand how if I mow you down with my car, I can get 20 years, but if I shoot you, I get life. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But generally speaking, this is wholly unavoidable. And drunk driving, particularly at this time of year in the holiday season where there's a lot of holiday parties, there's office parties, you're out entertaining clients, there's lots of things going on. Cabs exist, Uber, Lyft, call a friend, take the subway, public transit. There are so many options. There is no excuse to drink and drive or to get high and drive. So Sean Higgins, the guy who is responsible, not criminally, but is responsible for the deaths of Johnny and Matthew Gaudreau, is absolutely on the naughty list. And quite frankly, anybody who drinks and drives. I don't care whether you're found guilty or not. If you do it, you're on the naughty list. It is wholly unacceptable in 2024. It was unacceptable in 2000.
No, it was unacceptable for a very long time.
Yeah, we as a society, we need to be better. We need to be. I think part of this, and maybe this is maybe the better conversation to have. I think part of this stems from the fact of like self-importance. Like,
Yes.
I need to do this. I need to do
Or
that.
the rules don't apply to me.
The rules
Yeah.
do not apply to me. As a society, and it's gone down the tube since March 2020, we need to do a better job, I think, of caring about more than just ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
You got to care about how it's going to impact the people
Absolutely.
around you. Like, if you're sick and coughing, don't go out in public without a mask on, please.
Or don't go into work that day, you know, like, and it's stuff like clearly what this guy thought was he went out to a bar or something and he was like, I don't want to have the annoyance of going back, of like taking a cab or something to go back to pick up my car from the bar the next day. So he's like, whatever, I'll just drive home. And then it was, I don't want to have to wait behind this lineup of traffic. I'll just go onto the shoulder, you know, like that kind
and
of
that
thing.
is like, that is also outrageous behavior.
Yeah, but it's
like,
but
that
it's
is outrageous
It's
behavior.
like it's the my time is more important than anyone else's, so the rules don't apply to me. Like I'm gonna do it, and it led to two fathers dying, like two families losing their hearts, you know, their souls. So yeah, I don't want to spend too much time on this guy.
But I think as a society,
Yes.
the conversation needs to be, we need to do a better job of caring about one another and looking outside of ourselves. Because I feel like, and I'm guilty of this too, like, I feel like we all kind of went a little crazy.
We did. I went insane.
And we just need to be a little bit more aware that we're not that important in
No.
the grand scheme of things.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're doing things that could potentially be life altering.
You can put people's lives at risk.
Yeah. Like, I can't have that. And when I say put people's lives at risk, like, whether that's not wearing a mask while you're sick, because you could get, like, if a cancer patient gets strep, like, they could die. Or drinking and driving, or road rage. Like, don't get me wrong, I get road rage in the sense that I'll yell at people in the confines of my own car. You will not find me ever passing on a shoulder. I will stay within the rules of the road. I like to drive fast, but that's fine. I'll take knock on wood, I've never gotten a speeding ticket because I'm not a complete moron about it. But road rage, where you're actually endangering other people as opposed to just, like, yelling at them for not using their turn signal, is not the same thing. Like, you can't just decide that you can drive on whatever part of the road you want, or you are on a moped and you don't like the bike lane because there's cyclists, so you're gonna mow people down on the sidewalk. Like, there just needs to be a better understanding that, like, you're not that important.
Yeah.
And we all need to care about each other, because as a society, we'll be better.
Yeah. You are the supporting character in everyone's life but your own.
Oh, I like that.
You know? Like, I think it's important.
I'm barely the main character in my own life
Yeah,
at this
exactly.
point.
But I think a lot of people, you know, there's the whole main character energy thing. I think a lot of people think that they are the main character in the world. No, you are the main character in your own life, but you are the supporting character in everyone else's life, and they are the main character. And I think it would be a pretty crappy TV show if one day randomly a random supporting character ran over the main character of the show with a car.
That would be not great.
That would suck. Where does the show go from there? Exactly. So,
And the show's done.
all right. I'm glad we covered that.
Let's just all strive to be better in 2025.
Yes.
Let's be nice.
And this applies to the next person I'm going to bring up. The Hawk to a Girl is on the naughty list for me. And not because she wants to spit on that thing. We've agreed that, you know, whomst amongst us hasn't been spat, who's amongst us hasn't had their thing spat on or spat on a thing. Like, it is.
We're not going on about this again.
I want to advocate for the fact that I think that, you know, the world would be a better place if everyone was spatting on each other's things. But
okay.
but
Mike on the naughty list.
But yes, I mean, perpetually.
Different kind of naughty list.
Perpetually. Hey. However, I was worried about my girl Haley. By the way, I'm not sure if you've seen I'm not sure if you've seen on TikTok. The great, and I should have inducted these guys into the nice list. The great, and I'm going to show you them after we stop recording, before I have to head back to the office. But the greatest TikTok account of all time is because she started a podcast. We are peers with Haley Welch. It's called Talk Tua. You know this, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So these
Talk Tua.
two fellas have started a podcast called Talk Tua, where they treat it as if they're swirling wine while they talk in wine
I
glasses.
love them already.
And they'll be like, and so Haley brought up an interesting point today, and it'll be her talking about like, because she has a boyfriend called Pookie. She calls him Pookie, and like she revealed him. And it's like just as Sisyphus was able to push the boulder up to the top of the mountain, we too have been given a arduous task here with no fulfillment. And like they're swirling, and then every once in a while it'll cut to one of the other guys, and he'll be like writing notes furiously while the other guy's talking. It's incredible. But I was rooting for my girl Haley, and unfortunately she went down the path of crypto.
Oh, did she ever?
And so she created Hawk Tua coin, and she was promoting it like crazy.
Here's the thing. I have thoughts about this, all right? Because I don't know if our listeners know this. Mike knows this.
Yeah.
I'm pretty involved in the stock market.
Yeah.
Like, I get up every morning and I trade it when the market opens, and I trade the close, which is why we record, other than Mike having a real job.
Yeah.
Why we record when we do, right? So I saw this crypto thing, and then I saw people wanted her to be like thrown in jail because they lost their life savings. And here's what I'm gonna say about it, and we'll talk about the crypto part of it. All I'm gonna say is this: if you are stupid enough to put your life savings in a Hawk Tua coin, you deserve to lose your life savings. You can't be that dumb and expect that anybody is going to feel bad for you. Under no circumstance, crypto generally is a sketch investment. I'd be extraordinarily careful about it. A meme coin with a girl who was famous for talking about blowjobs? If you invested your life savings in that coin, I'm sorry, you deserve to lose your life savings. Like, don't do it. And but this also goes to how stupid is the average person.
Very stupid.
And think about the average person. That means half the people are dumber than that. Like, that you're buying into this coin. What are you doing?
So when our girl Haley launched the coin, it exploded at first, because that's what crypto does. Like, it goes way up. It peaked.
It GameStopped.
It peaked at a market cap of $490 million.
Jesus Christ.
Within hours.
Oh, I saw the chart.
Within hours.
I saw
the price plummeted to $24.6 million, which is a more than 90% drop. This is called a rug pull.
Yeah.
And
it's a 96 point something %.
And so obviously she got a lot of slack for this.
Well, yeah, because she probably made out like a bandit.
Yeah. And so what happened is,
and the SEC is absolutely going to investigate.
Oh, she's probably going to go to jail. Like she might go to jail for this. Like it's crazy. But they held a Twitter space, or I guess an X space. I'm never calling it X.
It's Twitter.
Where they were going to grill her on this, where she agreed to join, and it was hosted by a streamer and financial sort of like like stock market streamer called CoffeeZilla.
Oh yeah.
And so and she agreed to come on and address all this. This is how she basically didn't talk the entire time.
Okay.
They're getting grilled, and this is how it went.
I hate to interrupt you, Nick. Hello there. But anywho, I'm gonna go to bed, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Okay.
What?
So, I love
That is what happened. They got her on, they're grilling her, and she just went, "Hello guys, sorry to interrupt you. I'm gonna go to bed. Goodbye." And went to bed.
With like a helium voice.
That's what her voice sounds like. So, So Haley, unfortunately,
Did you just see my brain short
Yeah,
circuit for
yeah.
a second? All right.
it's the same look you had when I showed you the Costco guys, who are on my nice list, by the way.
That's fine because they don't harm society.
But they like this is like
First
exactly.
of all I'm saying is you okay.
You look into that, right? Like the Costco guys, they blew up just like Miss Tua did, and like all they do.
I don't even want to call her Hawk Tush. She's the blowjob girl.
And all she does, or all they do, all the Costco guys do, is like show up at wrestling events or sporting events and have fun and make dumb dances and jokes, but like just have fun. And they didn't make Boom Coin or Costco Coin, or anything like that. Riz Coin, which, oh boy, that sounds enticing. I would buy into Riz
What
Coin.
have I just done?
But they didn't do that. They just are having fun and enjoying their fame. Like,
and there's nothing wrong with that.
It's unfortunate because she signed. Like, the thing is, she signed to Jake Paul's like media company.
Oh, okay,
so clearly she's getting advice from the wrong person, from like a serial scammer. But yeah, unfortunately,
Immediately no.
Haley, I'm sorry, but you are on the naughty list.
Yeah, and just as on the whole, from an investment perspective, it's very easy to get sucked in to influencers doing this stuff. It's one thing to be influenced and say like, oh, my favorite podcast is selling this, or they have a code to this. I can buy this for 15% off, kind of thing, like Manscaped or whatever, right? That's one thing. When you're actually being influenced to the point where you are throwing life savings into investments, this is where the Zach Morris stock trader thing, and now he and his whole crew of people have been indicted by grand jury. Like, that's where it gets to a different level. And that's what I'm saying. It's one thing to be like, my favorite TikToker likes this, I'm going to buy that, like a HelloFresh or whatever. It's entirely another thing to be like, I'm going to drop 50 grand of my life savings on crypto or some weird investment situation. That's really where I don't love it. And Liz and I talked about this a couple episodes ago. I don't even really like influencers hawking things they don't believe in, right? If you use the product, like for me, if McDonald's came to me and said, we would like you to do an ad for us for French fries, that's entirely believable. I'm basically a walking French fry.
As much as I don't like the person behind this, but like if President's Choice rotisserie chickens came to me and said, hey, you're our new spokesperson, I'd be like, absolutely. I eat that literally every day.
Right, but if someone came to me and was like, we would like you to be a spokesperson for, like, I don't know, radishes, I'd be like, I'd
be like, I don't use them. I can't in good conscience.
Or coffee. Actually, coffee.
Coffee, because you're allergic to it.
I'm literally anaphylactic to coffee. I'll die.
But it's like you can't. It's also, I feel weird, just like, and like, okay, we had a partnership with Manscaped, right?
Okay, yeah.
Let me just say, so like we talked about them and everything because I had used like I had used it on like my chest hair before.
Do you remember when they wanted me to start?
Yeah, yeah. Let me just say, no Nick technology, my ass. Okay. Number one, I could not today if they came to us and were like, "We'll give you money to talk about a product." I could not, literally, in good conscience, sit in front of this microphone, in front of this camera, and tell you that this is a good product to use on your balls.
So what we would tell you is this: if we ever do advertising, like we have Jumpstart as our charity of choice, and and you know what?
And to be fair, we've never used Cantork tools. We did do Cantork before.
Yeah, well, actually, I did buy something from them. And for my brother, because my brother's an electrician. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. But we're with Jumpstart. And the reason we're with Jumpstart is because we actually love the work that they do.
And we believe in them.
And, like, I participate in Jumpstart programming. Like, I do their play to lead with them. Like, I'm actually an active member of the Jumpstart community. It's something we believe in. So we can make this guarantee. If we're advertising or talking about something on our pod that's a sponsor, we actually believe in it because Mike and I do this for fun.
Yeah.
This is not our job. We both have well-paying jobs, and we're not looking to make a buck. So I think that's the difference. Is Haley Welch is using her Hawk Tuah crap to make a buck and doing stuff. Like, that girl didn't know what crypto was.
It's just like profiting off of people.
Exactly, I don't like that. I don't like that. I promise, and Mike promises, we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
Ever.
Do you want to go next, or do you want?
You go next.
Okay. So my next one is anyone who told Frank Saravalli that Tony DeAngelo is a good teammate.
Yeah.
Tony DeAngelo sucks at hockey and at life. And there was a report that came out by the head of the PHWA. No. Yes. Sorry, I get confused with the PWHL sometimes. But PHWA saying that, on due diligence, Tony DeAngelo is a good teammate, and it's ridiculous that he isn't signed yet.
What's funny is...
Yeah?
And Frank has helped me a lot in terms of my situation.
And maybe you got bad information?
Kind of what's been going on with me. Like, Frank has gone to bat for both Mike and I for things. And we don't always agree with what Frank writes or says, but we don't always agree with what a lot of people,
and people don't agree with us.
But the difference with Frank is, like, he'll at least vet it. And so I know that when Frank wrote that multiple people told him that.
There were people
And so
it's not gonna lie.
It's not Frank on the naughty list. It's the people feeding Frank.
That's why I said.
crap.
That's what I said.
Yeah,
the
that's what I
person
mean.
who
It's
told Frank.
I don't want people to get this twisted that we don't think Frank's good at his job. Like, it's Frank's responsibility to report these things. But what did happen was when that article came out, one of Tony DeAngelo's former teammates, this was how I found out about the article, sent it to me and said, LOL, who is lying to Frank like this?
Well, it's people who,
It's people who are hawking for Tony DeAngelo.
Yeah, well, it's like people are they Hawk Tuah-ing, spitting on that source, spitting on that scoop,
and I feel
scooping
bad.
on that thing.
I feel for Frank in the sense that, like, if you get enough information,
yeah, you're gonna believe it. Like, you go with the scoop.
You're gonna go with the scoop, and you should. That's his job.
Yeah.
But the people that are deliberately misleading, I don't have any time for that.
They're Hawk Tuah scooping on that thing. So I just want to make it clear. Yes, it's the person that told Frank Saravalli, or the people, I guess. Like, there's 23 players on every roster. Tony DeAngelo is bound to have some friends, some right wing head that's his friend, and I'm sure
most of the NHL
is right
wing.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jacob Trouba, who is
Anaheim Ducks legend. All right. Speaking of Jacob Trouba, actually, on my naughty list. Sorry to go 3 in a row here, but Chris Drury is on my naughty list.
Yo, you and me.
There we go.
High five.
Woo! That, man. Like, that's...
We love Jacob Trouba on this podcast.
We love Jacob Trouba. I mean...
Constant content.
I love Jacob Trouba off the ice on this podcast. Maybe on the ice when it comes to trying to kill people.
Yeah, we don't love that.
I don't love that.
As a human being, though.
He's a great dude as a human being. Is he worth his salary right now? No. However, what is the difference between this and like this and Alan Walsh?
Jacob Trouba, noted not right wing.
Yes, but Alan Walsh
is very much involved in the community, very much human rights. Do you remember when he?
Oh, I remember. He paid for
the scholarship for the kid.
Remarkable.
So many. Emily Kaplan had a whole story on it. He's just such a good human.
The reason he's in New York is because his wife has a residency there. I love that.
Putting your wife
I would
first.
do that for your sister in a heartbeat. But anyway, but what I love
my
about
sister's also on the naughty list.
Oh boy, she's never on my naughty list. I'll tell you that. But what is it? And Alan Walsh brought up this on Agent Provocateur, as he should. This is a great opportunity to get his feedback. But what is the difference between this and contract or CBA circumvention? You have something that is a no trade clause.
And you're using, I understand the threat of waivers because he doesn't have the no move clause, but if you're saying you're blocking a trade to Team X, and so we're going to waive you, and Team X is going to pick you up anyways, that is absolutely circumvention.
And
And I understand people that are like, well, he doesn't have the no move clause. That's great. It's still bad faith.
Well, also, like, listen.
And I like what Jeff Merrick said. Even though Jeff and I disagree on the no move clause because he thinks like the no move clause is fine, Jeff actually had a great point. If you ask a player to waive their no move clause, you should have to compensate them for doing so.
Yes.
Because that was a negotiated thing, and you shouldn't be able to ask.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, so the reason, like, when a no move or no trade clause goes into a contract, that comes with a reduction. Like, it's
a reduction
in salary. It is a negotiated thing that is to substitute extra salary.
Yes.
So to basically make that null and void, to use that as like a weapon against the player, that to me is a 100% circumvention. And like there is
bad faith.
It's bad faith, and we love like, and this is also not like Vegas trading Marc-Andre Fleury and not telling him. That sucks, but that's not
they're
like,
allowed to do that.
And and look, the Rangers are technically allowed to do this, but
the difference is this is bad faith. They threatened him. And they basically said, if you don't waive, we're just going to put you on waivers, and the team that you don't want to go to is going to claim you anyways. So they've effectively nullified his no trade clause at that point. And I'm sorry, but that is bad faith, and it shouldn't be allowed. Like,
it shouldn't be.
Honestly, you know what there should be?
What?
Is if you have your no trade list, you have to submit it every year, usually July 1st. If you're put on waivers, the teams on your no trade list shouldn't be allowed to claim you.
Yeah, they're not allowed to claim you.
It should just be like those are my no-go list.
Yeah.
That's what the rule should be. That way, that would solve this issue immediately.
Yes,
But he's done this with Barclay Goodrow now, too.
Yeah.
So at some point, he's lucky that he's the GM of the Rangers and not the GM of, like...
Of the Columbus Blue Jackets? Or the GM of, I don't know, like, even, like, the San Jose Sharks or anything like that?
Like literally any non-original six or massive hockey market team. Because, like, players are always going to want to play for the Rangers.
Yeah.
Because it's the Rangers.
However, this is going to hurt them.
If you're a smaller market team and you think that you're going to do that, players are going to be like, yo, I'm not signing there.
This is like the thing about hockey is it's a very, very incestuous and insular world.
Did he break the code?
Yes. Everyone knows everyone in hockey. Like
literally everyone.
When it comes to, and like
Pierre Maguire has an encyclopedia on everyone.
Yeah, but like I'm talking like it is
somebody's son was at someone's wedding.
Exactly.
Who knows this?
Who is like a broadcaster
here,
who is an assistant coach in the ECHL here, but it's an affiliate here. Like everyone knows everything. And it's one thing with Barclay Goodrow. I think like obviously he was done dirty, but I think objectively players can look at it and go like he was declining, yada yada yada, whatever. This is your captain.
Yeah.
This is your captain.
And he's been a model citizen off the ice for the franchise.
And you also took him around, or not took him around, but like you also tried to do this to him in the summer. And
yeah, it just
like
the whole thing is
this
just
sucks.
very gross. And like Chris Kreider clearly wasn't happy about it. Adam Fox wasn't happy about it. Vincent Trocheck wasn't happy about it. Like you could. This is the thing: is the Rangers, I believe, are 2-8 in their last 10.
Mm-hmm.
This has upset the apple cart, and I will say this: somebody very close to me is a New York Rangers fan, a big one, right? And so I've obviously started watching more Rangers games. I've said the Rangers have played like 27 games. I'd say I'd probably watched about 20 of them.
Okay.
21, 20, like some in that range. I've watched a lot of the New York Rangers.
Okay.
They are they might be the easiest team to play against in the league, and they just traded the only guy that is like difficult. And when I say easy to play against, like they don't win 50-50 battles on the puck. They don't push guys away from the front of the net.
They were the Keefe Leafs.
They but the difference between the Keefe Leafs is like you always felt like they could come back in a game. When the Rangers get scored on now, like you're like they're gonna like they fold like a $2 lawn chair.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not like I saw some stuff about being like, oh, they're just a bunch of European soft skill. Like, no, that's actually not what it is. It's I look at it and I go, it's not the system. They're playing the exact same system, but it's nonchalant, the checking. Like now, instead of hounding people on the forecheck, they're waving their sticks. That's not Peter Laviolette's problem.
No.
And that's not a European problem. That's a lazy narrative, for one.
That
is a full-blown, not ready to play, not competing on the puck problem.
This is a team that was 8 wins away from Stanley Cup last year. A team that won the President's Trophy. Like, has
the best goalie in the league.
Has the best goalie in the league, has the highest paid goalie in NHL history now. Like, this is a very, very good hockey team. They should not be playing like this. There's clearly something wrong.
And I honestly, one of those things, we talk about hockey being super insular. You upset the apple cart in that dressing room.
But this goes around league wide too. Like, people, again, I know you have the allure that this is the Rangers, but like, why would you ever?
I wouldn't sign with them unless they gave me a no move clause at this point. Like, I straight up.
Yeah, without an NMC, like 100%.
If I'm like Igor Shesterkin, it came out. Pierre LeBrun reported the no move clause was a non-negotiable for the Shesterkin camp.
Yeah.
And I believe, like, I had heard kind of through all of this, he had originally turned down the $11 million. And part of it was that Drury didn't want to give him an NMC. Oh, so you could do this to him? Like, if I'm Shesterkin's agent, I'm like, okay, I won't take 11.6. I'll take 11. You're giving me that no move clause.
Well, it's
without
also, I'm just like, I'm Igor Shesterkin.
Yeah,
like, I get an NMC no matter what.
I mean, this guy, we're talking about the GM that pushed Henrik Lundqvist out of town.
Yeah.
Huh?
Exactly.
And thank God we didn't ever have to see him play in another jersey, because that's sacrilegious.
We saw, like, he was
in Capitals pads, and I wanted to kill
exactly.
myself.
It looked awful.
There's
also,
a Henrik Lundqvist jersey above Mike's head.
Yeah, literally right here.
Like,
it's
no,
also
I-
absolutely hilarious that it was the Capitals that signed him, like, just adding to the geriatric pile that they had at the time.
And
It's so
now
funny.
they're like really
And now
good.
they're
Nick
incredible.
Backstrom on the ice with Ovechkin today.
Now they're incredible.
But also pushing Henrik Lundqvist out. Do you remember how sad I was when that
Oh,
happened?
yeah, it was brutal. Yeah.
Like, I was like almost in tears, and then we saw him at the Cup final, and
yeah, you had like an out of body experience. It was
Yeah.
it was great.
So Chris Drury.
Yeah. Who's
is
next on your?
Well, he was
Okay.
my
Is that it? Like, for
naughty
your
list guy.
naughty list?
No,
You
I
have
have
one more, right?
one more on my
Yeah,
naughty
I have a couple.
list.
I have a couple more that we can round off.
Oh yeah, the Zamboni guy was
Yeah.
my other guy. We talked about this on the nice list briefly,
Okay.
but I think it's really worth bringing up, especially around this time of year.
Mhm.
The C-suites at the telecoms in Canada.
Oh yeah, they suck.
We know that there are January layoffs coming because they happen every year after Bell Let's Talk. Like, it's literally the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. But I think more, and we covered this on the nice list in depth, we've seen with Amazon and TNT that hockey can be fun and it can be creative, and it isn't the NHL that's holding the league back. It's the inability to want to step outside the box and try new things from the people who run these operations, and like Bell to a lesser degree, because I think they do a great job with like free agent frenzy and allowing Duthie to like do things. I think they do a great job allowing Jeff O'Neill to really like be himself
definitely.
and be like a great broadcaster. They allow Mike Johnson to do some of the betting stuff. Like, they do have some fun with it. They allow James Duthie to like run up and down on the bench on Hall of Fame night. Like, that's cool. But like Sportsnet, like, let them, like, Justin Bourne is funny
great.
as
He's funny.
hell.
I used to
Justin
do,
Bourne's gonna come on the podcast.
Yeah, like,
it's gonna be great.
they have talent. And also like
Let everybody be Gene Principe.
They've also driven away so much talent. The fact, like, I think about how stupid that company is. You hired Steve Dangle and you gave him, like, back in 2015, and the job you gave him was to create the prep sheet for the broadcast.
You had ice surfing, which now is effectively Frozen Frenzy.
Yeah.
You had ice surfing with Jeff Merrick and Steve Dangle and Carolyn Cameron. 3 absolute stars in broadcasting in Canada. And you messed it up.
And incredible guests. Like, Peter Mansbridge came on, like Michael Bublé, like guys like that. It's like you like, I have not
George
seen
Stroumboulopoulos came on.
You have the 32 Thoughts podcast and you can't make money selling ads on it? Are you kidding me? Like that, you have the #1 hockey podcast in the world from the most trusted voice in the sport worldwide, and at the rights holder, and you cannot. I remember
embarrassing.
back when I was back when I was in school, I was trying to break into hockey media, and I had a meeting. I don't know how I swung this, but had a meeting with the then head of Sportsnet, like the then president of Sportsnet, Bart Yabsley. I had a meeting with him on trade deadline day.
Which, like,
I don't know how I swung it, but I did. But I remember, woke up early in the morning, was going to head down to because I did a radio hit first. I think I was still in school, so I was running like the Leafs Nation or something at that time. But and I had a radio hit first, and then I was going to go meet with him after. And I was like, all right, let me listen to a podcast. It's trade deadline day. The Leafs the Leafs really need to make something happen here. And I'm like, oh, a new podcast, 32 Thoughts. All right, let's see. You have Elliot Friedman and Jeff Merrick, Elliot Friedman in particular, the most tapped in person in the entire sport. It's the day with the most movement. He's going to give us all this inside information. And it was a sit-down interview with Rick Bowness. And I go like, what are you doing?
Boo, tomato.
Yeah, I want the people who make those decisions.
Not to and on that.
Okay.
I have seen the inside of this because the Sportsnet gets bullied by the teams that they have partnerships with.
Yes.
So they have partners with the Canucks, they're partners with the Leafs, they're partners with the Oilers, the Flames, the Habs. They get bullied by whether like the owners or the presidents to say, we don't like what this person said, you can't have them on. We don't like this. I am now, and we're going to talk about this when Jeff comes on the podcast. Mm-hmm. I was not allowed to be on Jeff Merrick's show.
Because the Canucks didn't like you.
Because the Canucks don't like me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you're on telecom. Go tell them to themselves.
Go calm those tells.
Nobody said we were going to talk about the Canucks because we weren't.
Yeah.
We were literally going to talk about the Leafs. But
you would have said something positive about the Leafs, and that's not allowed. That's not allowed on Sportsnet.
But all I'm saying is they allow part of the reason, like Amazon, and I know people that work on the Amazon broadcast, when teams tell them, "Oh, we don't like what you said," they literally tell them to go their hat.
Mm-hmm. That's
what we need from the broadcasters. Because here's the thing. The teams need the broadcast.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
what's going on? You're just playing in
you're playing in a rink that, by the way, in some of those rinks is half empty. So you need them. So if I'm Rogers, I'm broadcasting what I think is gonna be best. And whether that's me or not me, my point is the team should not control who is on the broadcast. That is absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense.
The final two that I have for you've now gotten so mad twice that your hood has fallen off. That's how you know this is a spicy episode. I have two. I'm not going to spend too much time on either of them because we've talked to death, but I would be remiss, Rachel. Who is one person who deserves to be on the naughty list we've talked about so much that we have not mentioned yet?
Ooh. Oh, George Peros?
Oh, well, okay. Let me just.
But we put him on the perma naughty list last year.
Yes, we put him on. We retired his jersey on the nice list, or the naughty list,
in the rafters.
Yeah. Who is someone who we have talked about pretty much every podcast, since we rebranded. Who you think should be on the naughty list?
Jerry Jones.
Nailed it right there. Jerry Jones.
In the freaking Simpsons broadcast, they made him Mr. Burns.
They made him Mr. Burns. Absolutely incredible. They also, I also fear for
ESPN
Zach Taylor because they made him Krusty the Clown, and there's a shot of all the Bengals players surrounding him while he's like talking to them, but he's Krusty the Clown and there's just Bengals players around him. Like, dude, the caption was like, I dare Zach Taylor to have a bad game. Like, it's just incredible. So there's not much to really say about Jerry Jones that we haven't already said. Like, blinding his players, almost killing people by things falling from the ceiling, allowing random flip-flop wearing tourists to basically sit in on an offensive scheme meetings. Like, it could go on and on. It's crazy.
Outrageous. And then, like, God bless him. Mm-hmm. Constant press conferences.
Oh, yeah. Like,
constant.
We talk about you're not that important. Jerry Jones thinks he's that important.
I just think like whoever made, and this is what I was just finished talking about with Sportsnet.
Mm-hmm.
You know that Jerry Jones is calling the executives
Oh,
at
yeah.
ESPN.
Oh, yeah.
He is furious that
I-
he was made out to be Mr. Burns.
If like he is Stephen A. Smith is so lucky that he is so valuable to ESPN because I guarantee you Jerry Jones has been like I guarantee you whoever is on the receiving end of owner phone calls has been screamed at every time the Cowboys lose. Stephen A. Smith basically jacks off onto the camera, and so like Jerry,
They made him
yeah.
like, to be fair, all sports owners are basically Mr. Burns, like in
Yes,
terms
they
of
are.
that. But Jerry Jones
is the
especially
most. I
is
wouldn't be
Mr.
shocked
Burns.
if like The Simpsons like based it off him in some way.
You know we're getting like some level of Simpsons episode with a Jerry Jones reference now.
Oh, absolutely.
Like
They've done some incredible ones with in South Park too with Jerry Jones. Like it's great. And my final one, Rachel. It's another.
God bless.
I know.
Like, Jerry Jones has been. We haven't done a what you know what? That's what we get when we're back from holiday. We got to kick off our new year with what's going on in Jerry world.
Oh, and like they will have been eliminated from the playoffs, and like it will be. Who knows what'll happen? They'll probably give Mike McCarthy an extension. Like it'll be great. I can't wait. I cannot wait.
How many press conferences does Jerry Jones have between when this comes out on December the 19th or whatever day, 20th, to when we're back the second week of January?
Well, how many games are in between then?
Like 2 or 3?
At least 3 then.
Well, don't forget he's on the radio.
So every week.
So it's double digit.
So it'll be double digits. Yeah.
Man.
And in the vein, it's another football one, and we will end on this. And there's, again, not much to say about this guy because everyone hates him. Who do you think I'm going to say?
Oh, man. I know
Who
exactly
do you think I'm
where
going to
you're
say?
going.
Try and guess again.
Aaron Rodgers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, baby!
Absolutely.
Woo!
Aaron Rodgers. Because, and what really tipped me off today is when I was making my list, I was like, you know what? I'll go on to X, the Everything app. And as they call it, I'll just do some scrolling. And the number one thing I saw was it was an awful announcing headline, which was Aaron Rodgers quote, like, I don't like when I think a problem with this generation is players going on ESPN and making it all about themselves. And I wanted to shoot myself in the face.
Says man who has
It's
a
the-
regular
we're all-
spot on Pat McAfee every week to talk about himself. I love Aaron Rodgers because he's like, first of all, he's like, last year at Jets locker cleanout day or whatever, he goes, we need guys who aren't going to make it all about themselves. They got to eliminate the distraction.
And there's too many leaks in this building.
You're like,
Meanwhile,
buddy,
he goes on.
You're on Pat
yeah.
McAfee every week.
We're all
right?
trying to find the guy who did this.
Yeah,
You know, like
right?
it's unbelievable.
Then he goes on this like weird retreat
Darkness
in a
retreat.
box.
Did you see? So his ex-girlfriend Shailene Woodley.
Oh, they're not together anymore?
Oh no, they haven't been together.
Shocker.
They haven't been together for a while.
Why? What happened?
She came out because she's I think she's got a new project, so she was asked. She's doing press, and she asked about it, and she was like that. Like I was. She described his relationship, I think, as like something like he took my soul or something like that. Like
Honestly, not shocked.
Like, can you imagine? Like
Not
that
shocked.
guy sucks. He
At
sucks
football.
he sucks at football now, but he sucks in real life.
So I gotta tell you a story.
Okay,
about this.
okay.
So I said important person in my life is not only a Rangers fan, he's a Giants fan. R.I.P. However, one of his close friends
Okay.
is a massive Jets fan.
Oh my God. My condolences.
He made a bet, okay,
Yeah.
that the Jets would get more than 9. Their over-under total on wins this year was 9.5.
Really?
9.5.
Wow.
He bet this person that
He bet the over on that?
he bet the over. And so they bet a 20 on it. And the person who I'm very close to won that bet on Thanksgiving. Because on Thanksgiving, the Jets lost, and it made it statistically impossible for them to get over their win total. So what is he going to do? So the guy had to give him the 20. He walked over to the bar and bought himself a drink and that guy a drink with the 20, then took out a 20 from his own wallet, signed it, is framing it, and giving it to him for Christmas. How do you think the Jets were gonna have 9 or 10 wins this year?
How did Vegas think that? Like,
I don't. Vegas had the Chargers at 8.5. I'm like, what? With Jim Harbaugh, they're already at 8.
no, but like that team sucks.
Right, but when you think
They're
about
overachieving, but then they do have Justin Herbert and Jim Harbaugh. Like, but it's that bog.
they
like,
had the Jets winning more games than the Chargers this year. Though is my point.
it's crazy.
Like,
That's wild.
That-
But, yeah.
mean-
Aaron Rodgers sucks.
and they have like Devontae Adams, still a good receiver. Garrett Wilson, sick receiver.
Yeah. Brees
Like-
Hall, good running back. Braylon Allen, good running
Good
back.
running back.
You know, like they
They
have,
have some sick
C-
dudes on defense.
CJ
too.
Mosley, great. If again he's sort of in the situation that Trevor
Sauce Gardner
Zegers is
on
in,
D.
but Sauce Gardner, if he gets some joy back into his life, he's good at that. Like, you know,
Robert Saleh, not the problem.
Quinnen Williams, Robert Saleh, not the problem. Like stuff like that. They have good players. It's just
I think
they have
maybe
this
they,
guy that sucks that's leading them.
Might need new quarterback.
They will. Like he's not going back next year. Are you kidding me? They're not bringing him back. At least I hope not. Like,
The best is like, and also like Woody Johnson, the owner.
yeah, he's insane. So who knows?
He might be worse than Jerry Jones. He just doesn't talk.
Yeah, who knows what's gonna happen? It's gonna be crazy. But anyway, that is our. I believe that's it, right? Like you have
That
no one
is
else.
it,
Yeah.
yeah.
So there's no one better to leave it off with than Aaron Rodgers. So that is our naughty list. Please, by all means, listen and enjoy. But before you do that, donate to Jumpstart, our charity of choice. Jumpstart helps economically disadvantaged kids play team sports, which is a cause that is very, very, very near and dear to Rachel and I's hearts. All the links and everything will be in the description of this episode. So if you are able to, please donate. And
Some housekeeping.
okay,
We will be taking next week off
Mm-hmm.
because it is Christmas and we're not recording an episode on Christmas. That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Not doing that. However, the next time we're back, it will be a special episode with none other than Jeff Merrick
yeah,
of the Nation Network, one of my really close friends, and we're going to get into some really deep conversations that Jeff and I haven't been able to have, and then Mike and I will be back in January with more fun stuff. We got a couple of pretty solid guests booked. Pretty excited about it. But yeah, we're going to give everyone a week off to enjoy with their families. Family time's super important. So make sure you take that. Eat lots of baked goods. Mike brought me 2 donuts today. I'm very excited.
2 very decked out donuts.
We will post them on our socials.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, happy holidays. May your families come together and enjoy the time. And if you have a crazy uncle or a crazy aunt,
Fight them.
just ignore them. It's not worth it.
Fight them at the dinner table. Fist fight them, because you know that the winner of that will assert dominance, and that will be the leader of the household after that. So make sure that you win that fight. And on that note,
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year as well. Enjoy yourself. Stay safe, and we will be back in the new year. Peace.